the difference then between living and live food?
Okay. Well, Lebensmittel, is that living food in German? Or Leben, what? What would be living food in German? Lebensfutter. Huh? Futter? Would be Lebensfutter. Would be life food. Living food is a word which is an old word, which is in the German language. And Anne Wigmore, has anybody heard of Anne Wigmore?
Yeah.
You have. Anne Wigmore came and she heard that there was this principle of living food. And she saw that people at the time, they didn't call it anything except natural hygiene in America. And then there was some instincto people that were eating uncooked food. And so that was the movement. And then Anne Wigmore came along and she saw that people were eating uncooked stuff, but they were eating uncooked flesh, raw flesh. They were eating raw eggs, raw fish. They were just taking beans and grains and grinding up to a flour and making patties out of the beans. And this is just raw food, you know, but it could be just as raw as a telegraph pole, but not be digestible. So raw food is just, you know, hey, that could be a telegraph pole. It's just unprocessed, but it's not Livsmok, which is the principle of life itself. Can this food, that's just the question that you have in your mind, can this food produce itself? Is a cousin of what you eat? Can a cousin be found growing wild somewhere, or no? We can't find anything like carrot, which is selected from Queen Anne's lace, which is nothing like the carrot you eat today, which is one of the newest vegetables, is the carrot. But that carrot cannot sterilise against fungus in the soil. So if you're a farmer and you grow carrots, only 1 or 2 seasons will pass, and if you never replanted them, they'll finish. They'll be peated up. They won't continue to grow. Why won't they continue to grow? Fungus. Because fungus in the soil overcomes it. Okay? So the carrot doesn't have any forces left to sterilise against fungus at all. So when we do carrot, there's a lot of things problematic with carrot, because it's undigestible protein, and also it has it's called a runaway sugar in there, which is a disaccharide sugar. So foods which won't grow on the earth and won't reproduce itself that we're eating tends to have various problems about it in the way that it fits into our blood and affects our blood. Okay, let's see, what have we got next here? Our body should really be a lot like with having ions, positive and negative ions. You can't survive without positive and negative ions and ionisation. And the stomach's forces has a force which is spinning to the right and down and out. You know? So the stomach's forces have a force which is spinning down and out. So the forces of the upper stomach is called cationic, and its forces are spinning down and out like that, and then it's met with bicarbonate elements that come from the pancreas and the liver, and that meets down and out with in and up, and that's anionic energy. So without the forces of the liver and pancreas to provide this, there is no in and up, and there is only down and out. So when you feel down and out, it is because the upper stomach is producing the forces which is causing the sweeping of your energy and sweeping round to the right like this, round like this, and it's going down and it's sort of travelling out like that. So when we have no neutralisation of the acid churn, we sort of feel slightly down and out, and not so, because there's no energy in and up. Energy comes from down and out, meeting in and up. And this is called ionisation, and electrons are given off. But if you do not have this ionisation occurring, there is no energy. The upper stomach's forces connecting and neutralised by the forces of the liver and the pancreas, which we're going to talk a bit about as far as leaf smut is concerned. So far what we said, we've only said this: there is food and leaf smut is for humans. It has exactly the right ratio of the things which we evolved to have. We don't have any carnivorous teeth, none. Our teeth exactly in somatotyping fit exactly into a frugivore's, not a herbivorous animal. We're not really a grass eater, a leaf eater, though we can eat some grass and leaf, and we should eat some grass and leaf. But we're not really grass and leaf eaters. We're frugivores. Everything that comes from a fruit, everything comes from a flower, that's the body of a flower, is called a fruit. So a seed is a fruit, a nut is a fruit, cucumber is a fruit, cauliflower, broccoli is a fruit, squashes are fruits, tomato is a fruit. These are all fruits, not vegetables. So seed is a fruit, nut is a fruit in botany.
Avocado? Avocado?
Avocado is a fruit, right. So mostly we're more frugivores actually, you see. And then some herbivorousness is possible for us. But we're supposed to really have energy, and we really are supposed to be more connected, more in an environment a bit more like this in our life. Houses and paving and girders and buildings and no sky, no roof, no light coming into the home, and all this sort of thing is not so necessarily good.
What about sprouts?
Sprouts. You can now, Anne Wigmore saw that people were just sort of taking a grain and a bean and grinding it up, making patties out of it and things. And she saw that grain bean is in a suspended animation. And that when it's soaked and it starts to sprout, that the enzyme inhibitors are released from that bean or that grain. And that she coined this principle, living food. And she defined this principle because people in the raw food movement, they were just doing flesh, just doing unprocessed stuff, and there was no real science. So living food is vegetarian, whereas raw food can be raw flesh. If you say you're a raw foodist, you could be doing raw flesh, raw eggs, who knows, right? But living food, she would take a grain and a bean and sprout it. I happened to be introduced to Anne many years ago, and I became her scientific advisor after a short period of time. And for the last 3 years of her life, I was her scientific advisor. And she was changing what she was doing over to leaf smut or life food. Because when I looked at her program, I saw a couple of things. First, it was vegetarian, which that's fabulous, which we're going to talk a little bit about. But she had sprouted grains, sprouted beans. She had chickpeas, mung beans, azuki beans, soybeans. She has corn, carrot, beet, banana, dates, and pineapple. And then she has some avocado. And basically, all the food that she had, which she called living food, was food which when I observed it, I saw that these were foods that she had which none of those foods could really grow wild. And they weren't even anything close to a cousin. There wasn't even a cousin in the wild. And I just wondered to myself, I wonder what the reason is why those foods, which Anne had in her program, which was called living food, couldn't be found growing wild anywhere. Why can't they be found? Why can't they grow wild? And that led me to investigate, to study that there are natural passifrons. It's going to be a small exam after this.
What's that word again? Passifron.
Thank you. Passifron. Okay, passifron is a word like vitamin. But passifron means simply natural antibiotic. The forces in a food, which is its natural antibiotic, are called passifrons. P-A-C-I-F-A-R-I-N. Pacifarin. Pacifarin. Pacifarin is a natural antibiotic. And so all fresh fruits and vegetables, seeds and nuts, except for the starchy foods, have these natural passifrons in it, which we absolutely is a necessariness. When you do food which doesn't have those, you're going to end up with a condition in here and in the blood, which is not going to be nice at all. And I think I might have some pictures of that. Okay. All these red and blue colours are meant to be a small amount of that being consumed during the day, which causes your eyesight in the day to be incredible. If you do green during the day though, your eyesight's going to be poor during the day. You're going to have can't manage too bright a light. You have to sort of squint your eyes a little bit. It's too bright, it feels a bit bright. If you're doing too much green, if you're doing green during the day, you'll have fairly good night vision, but your day vision will be really bad. We're not herbivorous animals, but you could have some herbivousness at the end of the day, a little bit of green and things, but excess green during the day is going to cause you to sort of have some sensitivity to light, but it's going to cause other problems as well. But red and blue and things like this is meant to be a small amount of that, perhaps to be brought in during the day. But food is meant to be suspended also, so you're not really meant to eat all the time. When was the last time these the workers down here got a rest? Have they had a vacation?
What is vacation for them? How long time is
Well, the first vacation is not breaking your fast, letting that meal go. So you don't break fast, if you can help it. Because that's the rest it only will get. The rest that it gets is when you defecate, and it's empty, and the time that it's empty. But the moment you start bringing food in, that's the rest, it's finished. No more rest. So our digestive tract can be not really getting any rest. Most people's digestive tract is not really getting any rest at all, you know. And there's no vacation, you know. They go, please, let me get a few days off. What about half a day? You know, and the captain upstairs says, no way. You know, cornflakes for me. Oh, gee! You know, so then they have to do a lot of work. But, okay.
When you're talking about rest, do you only drink water in that time?
No, yes, you hydrate your blood as you can. Personally, I recommend to people they might consider drinking their own urine because of all the elements that's in there. But you might have to learn more about this, but that's what I do. And you know, I was a breatharian for a little more than 10 years. And one of the primary things that I did was my own urine, which I did most everything that I produced. You know, which eventually there was no defecation or nothing. And except if I flush my intestinal tract out with some salt water or something, there would be nothing in there at all. Okay. But,
do you recommend that drinking urine regularly?
Yes.
Or just once a week? Or?
I recommend that you might consider to do this for your life. But anyway, just imagine this. Would you like to be the best in your field in 2 years?
Yeah.
No matter what your field is, I can guarantee you'll be the best in your field in 2 years if you just drink your pee. That's all. So it's going to be handed to you. Best in your field, you'll drink your pee for 2 years. You know. Now, if you drink for 5 years, automatic genius. Genius. Okay, automatic. Just going to be given to you. You've drank your urine for 5 years. Drink for 7 years, automatic sainthood. Oh, that's for me!
No, but I always get a bit skeptical about this drinking the urine.
Yes.
Because